Hello, and welcome to the Empowerography Podcast. This is a platform created for women's voices to be heard and a place to share their stories, journeys, and successes with the world for the purpose of helping other women who might be on similar journeys. We are empowering women one episode at a time. I'm your host, Brad Walsh, so kick back, grab one of your favorite beverages, and enjoy the stories. Hello there, everyone. Brad Walsh here, your host of the Empowerography Podcast. Today, my guest is Velicia Hill, former runway model, shoe designer, and now Miss Heel magazine publisher. How are you doing today, Velicia?
I'm doing really well. Thank you for inviting me.
Thank you so much for being here. How's your morning going so far?
Amazing. Thank you.
Good. Good evening last night?
Yeah. Good cocktail. Everything's good.
Excellent. Gotta love it.
Yes.
Now, Velicia, you started out your modeling career at the age of 18, modeling bridal gowns. How did you get into modeling and why?
It was completely by accident. I was going to a college in Dallas, Texas, and in Dallas, there's a huge apparel mart where everyone who owns a retail store go and buy their clothing. And we had to take a class over there because I was going to school for fashion marketing. And I remember being with one of my college friends, and there was a sign on one of the showroom doors, a bridal showroom, that said models needed, 6 days, $100 an hour, 8 hours a day. And we both started doing the math, and she was like, "You got to do that. Go in there." And I'm like, "I've never done it." She was like, "You can do it. You can do it." So I walked in there on a whim, and they hired me, and that's how I got started.
Wow. So you also did some modeling in Paris, and I mean, that's huge. How did that opportunity come about, and how long did you model in Paris, and were you living there when you were modeling?
Yeah, I was. I would come back every so often. So, the modeling career began at 18. And from there, I made my way to Philadelphia. And I got signed by Reinhardt Modeling Agency in Philly, and modeling all around the U.S. and everything. And I decided to go to Paris myself.
Oh, okay.
And I went to Paris myself, and I was, got booked for some different shows and things. And I ended up meeting a guy over there that I started dating. So he really, because he's a native, he was French, he really helped me out and taught me the language and was taking me around different places. So he really helped me out in my career over there. So it was the perfect situation when you're a model to actually know someone who speaks the language, knows the way around Paris, literally around the entire country. And so I would go, to my visa and then come back and then go back again, so yeah. I racked up some miles. But ironically, my last fashion show was when I was actually pregnant, and I was had gotten married, and I found myself pregnant, and I had moved to Miami. That was right when Miami took off as far as modeling goes, and I ended my career there. And the very last thing I did was bridal gowns. So I find it pretty ironic that my career started with bridal gowns and ended with bridal gowns. I was like, okay.
That's almost bittersweet. That's pretty incredible. Yeah. How long were you living in Paris?
This probably went on, I would probably say, Brad, about 3 years. I did that for about 3 years, yeah. I love, love, love Paris. If I had a chance to live any place else outside the U.S., it would definitely be Paris.
Yeah, Paris is a beautiful city. I've been there a few times. It's gorgeous. You can't even put it into words. It's an amazing place.
Yeah. People always ask me what it's like, and I'm like, it's just a feeling that you have to experience for yourself. I can't describe it to you.
You have to be there.
Exactly.
Yeah, for sure. How long did your modeling career last in all toll, and why? So you decided to get out of modeling because of the pregnancy, I'm assuming?
No. Well, back when I was modeling, when I started, when you got to be like in your late 20s and pushing 30, you were considered a dinosaur.
Oh, man.
It wasn't like it is now. Where, women are modeling, I believe, what's the guy's name who owns Tesla? His mother
Elon Musk.
Yeah, his mother, Mae Musk, is now considered a supermodel. She's a cover girl, and she's in her 70s. So
wow,
it just, the modeling industry wasn't as progressive then. And, and so now, ironically, I still get asked to model. And now, and I don't care about saying my age, I'm 50 now.
Mm-hmm.
And I get asked more if I'm a model now once I hit 40. I'm not kidding you. More people ask me now if I'm a model than they did when I was younger. So
wow.
Yeah. So, but yeah, my career started at 18, and I literally ended it when I was officially ended it when I was about 28, 29. So
about 10 or 11 years.
Yeah, exactly.
Do you miss that lifestyle? Do you miss doing that anymore?
No, you know why, Brad? Like, I am I'm very curvy, and I have the body that everybody wants now, the small waist, the hips, the booty, everybody wants an ass now. Back when I was modeling in the 80s, I literally had agents to say, okay, well, your waist is really small, but can you lose weight in like your knees and your butt? Yes, so I don't miss it because my body shape back then was not in, as they say, in fashion. Now I have that body shape that everybody now, what everybody now is referring to as Kim K. I'm like, I was Kim K before she was Kim K. Okay. And these are all original parts. Okay.
I love it.
So no, I don't miss it because I found myself, I'm going to be honest with you, full disclosure. I remember, Brad, like eating just like a bagel a day, like trying to be as skinny as possible. And so, no, I don't miss it. And there are really, literally like a lot of shallow people. Yeah. So, it's something in my soul just kept saying, you deserve more. So, but it lasted while it lasted, and you can't be mad at making a living on the way you look. I mean, really?
No, absolutely. Absolutely.
Yeah.
So many girls grow up dreaming of having a career as a model. So to be able to do it and just stumble into it the way you did, I mean, wow.
I know it is. I knock on wood. I've been blessed. No, and especially because I am literally the ugly duckling. I was not cute girl at all. I could show you photos. I had breakouts. I was awkward. By the time I was in the 4th grade, which means I was like 10 years old, I was 5'6".
Wow.
So I was taller than everybody. I was taller than teachers, So I literally had to, and God bless my mother, would just be like, hold your head high, and somehow that blossomed into the woman I am today. So any young girl out there listening, or mothers with young girls, just encourage your daughter if she's awkward and she's tall, to that things can so turn around.
Oh yeah, of course they can.
Yeah.
What did you most enjoy about being a model and that lifestyle?
I remember doing fashion shows, and because I am a dark-skinned Black woman, I remember doing fashion shows, and I would see women, young girls, women of all ages. The look on their face, Brad, is now I understand what it means to be a rock star, and I was nowhere near being a supermodel.
Yeah.
I like probably like Kathy Griffin, the D-list of models, but but it paid the bills. I always say, well, you aren't a supermodel, and I'm like, no. I was like, but not everyone is Johnny Cochran as a lawyer, but there are other lawyers that make really good living,
Yeah, absolutely.
But I think that was the biggest thing, was the reward of people seeing themselves in my beauty. And when they saw me, it was like, oh, okay, I am pretty. Oh, look at her, That to me was probably the most rewarding thing, was the connection with people who would see me and they just want to be around you. So I can't imagine how Beyonce or Michael Jackson, you have to be really settled into yourself to be able to handle that level of admiration. You really do.
Sure. And look at all the people who can't handle it and turn to drugs and things like that because they can't deal, right?
Exactly. So on my small scale, I can't even imagine that being magnified millions of times. So, but yeah, that was the most gratifying.
Okay. So for modeling, you made the jump into entrepreneurship by starting your own line brand of maternity clothing and had a boutique called Hollywood Mama. How did the venture come about and how long were you in business? Can you tell us a bit about that part of your journey?
Yeah, absolutely. Again, I had gotten married and I had found myself pregnant. And because I had been a model, and I was, had always maintained my figure literally because that's how I made my living. So when I became pregnant, when I started showing, I wanted to like show off my body. I was like, oh, this is great. But when I went to go buy maternity clothes, because I've always just loved fashion, the clothes were so dowdy. And I was like, who's wearing these clothes? And I just found myself just wearing regular clothing with a lot of stretch. And I just remember sitting at my kitchen table and my mother was there and I had a piece of paper and I just started sketching clothes and she was like, oh, that's really cute. And I was like, I just remember just something came over me in this feeling and I've like heard this voice in my head go, you're going to design your own maternity clothes. And I said, you know what? I'm going to design my own line. And she said, really? And I said, yeah. And
Wow.
I started from there. I'm not a scared girl, okay? What's so funny, I'm not a gambler. Like in Vegas, I hate to just go to a gambling table, but I will always bet on myself. So maybe I really am a gambler. I just need to open up my definition of what a gambler is.
Yeah, maybe.
So, yeah, and I was living in Miami. Like I said, I was married. And Miami has a lot of South Americans there. And so there's this place in Miami called Little Havana. And I literally just got on the internet and started looking for pattern makers and sketches. And I had another girlfriend of mine who was actually a model and she could sketch really well. So I sent her my really, really rough sketches because I ended up being a maternity designer who did not know how to draw, who did not know how to sew, who didn't know a damn thing about pattern maker, who didn't know anything about manufacturing clothing, and yet I still did it.
Wow.
That is the power of the mind.
No kidding.
Yeah, that's what happened. So that's how I got started.
Wow. Now, you had said you had no previous experience at all designing clothing. You just sat down and started drawing and that's wow. That's
my sketches were like, I'm telling you, very elementary. I mean, it was horrible. I wish
like
I had
stick men.
It literally was stick men. And my girlfriend, I was like, okay, so really what I want is this here and I want this, and that. And she literally took my designs and created a much more amazing sketches, which in turn allowed me to take that to a seamstress to make my samples. Now I am giving you the cliff notes. When I tell you, I got ripped off because people saw me coming. I was very green, or they say wet behind the ears.
Yep.
I had someone wanting to charge me like $500 per garment, and I did it.
Wow.
I lost a lot of money, but you learned along the way.
That's it. And hard lessons, right?
The hard lessons, but you learn from your mistakes.
Yes.
So each time I would hit a wall, it didn't make me stop. I was like, okay, she ripped me off. Keep going. Find someone else. So I would always ask questions. I'd bump into someone and I'd be like, oh, hey, who makes your clothes? Where do you get your samples made? Or I'd go into a boutique and they're like, yeah, we have our own line made. And I go, oh, who do you use? And part of my slogan was that I really wanted my clothes to be made in the U.S. I did not want to factor it out. And so that literally became like one of my taglines, which inside our labels, it was like born in the USA.
I love it. That's awesome.
So I finally found an amazing man down in Little Havana, Miami, probably about, an hour drive from my house. And I would go down there. He taught me about pattern maker. And of course, because he's a pattern maker, he knew seamstresses. He knew, showrooms that could sew my clothing. Yeah. And that's how it came about. And I learned along the way. He was such an invaluable source. I wish I knew where he was now, but he helped me, get that clothing line out there. And once I got the clothing line made, I did it a little bit on my own, just selling out of my house. Mm-hmm. And there's a place in Florida called Hollywood, Florida. And I remember just kind of being down there with my family. And a retail store was in my mind because I always loved clothing stores. Yeah. And we were all in the car together and we happened upon this kind of rundown place, but it was at an amazing location, as they say, location.
Yes, absolutely.
Right? And I said, I'm going to be in that store. And they were like, wow, you really should. I know people understand there's a running theme throughout my life. When I say I'm going to do something, I do it, even though I may not have any freaking clue of how to make it manifest.
You just make it happen.
I make it happen. And
Love
they
it.
were all like, great. And they were all like, what are you going to name it? What are you going to name it? What are you going to name your line? Because my line originally started out as Velicia Hill Couture Maternity.
Okay.
And I called it couture because my samples were so damn expensive. I was like, I would never make any money unless I charge $300 for this, you know?
Yeah.
And I remember us all kind of sitting around, you know, kind of bashing out names or whatever. And another running theme in my life, I went to bed, I had a dream.
Yeah.
And in the dream, I saw the name Hollywood Mama. And literally it was like, I saw the name Hollywood Mama on a sign. And I woke up and I called my family and they all hated it. And they were all like, no one's going to call themselves Mama. And they were like, what about Mommy? And I said, I did not see Mommy. I saw Mama. And again, I took a bet on me and called the landlord up the next day. And I was like, I want this store. And it was dirt cheap. It was dirt cheap, but it was a hellhole. I mean, I had to go in and do a lot of work. But the location was amazing, and the guy agreed to fix up the outside, paint the building the color that I wanted, because I was like, your other tenants are in here, and they clearly don't, you know, care what it looks like on the outside. Yeah. And he said, okay, I'll get it painted for you on the outside, but whatever you do on the inside is on you. But your rent will be really, really cheap, and it was. And that's how Hollywood Mama came to be.
Wow.
Yeah. But
how long did Hollywood Mama stay open, and why did you decide to close the doors and get out of that industry?
Hollywood Mama, let me back up and say, was an overnight success.
Really?
My opening, my sister is she's a really good. She's into marketing, and the press picked up on my line and about me opening up the store. And this is right when Demi Moore was on the cover of Vanity Fair.
Oh, yes, I remember that cover.
From Sex and the City. You know, she became pregnant, and Sex and the City was the hottest show at the time in the late 90s, early 2000s. And a local entertainment show in Miami called Deco Drive called me up and said, can you delay your opening? We want to time it with the release of Sex and the City, the movie. And I was like, okay. And so they covered my opening. And from the time they aired that, my phones were ringing off the hook and people wanted to buy my line. And the doors opened in 2003. Yeah. And literally, Brad, I'm not kidding you. It was an overnight success. And I ended up getting every newspaper you can imagine I was in. When I was considered a maternity expert, I became, you know, an NBC, you know, contributor.
Wow.
I was in Money Magazine, like to the point where people would just call me up and they were, you know, it was an election between George Bush and Kerry. And Money Magazine called me up and said, hey, you're a young business person. What do you think about the election? I mean, like, that's how much press I received. I'm not kidding you. I am not kidding you. I have the receipts.
Wow. That's incredible.
It was, but it was a lot. I started getting pulled in a lot of directions. Meaning, that's right when online started, you know, taking off.
Yeah.
People in other cities were like, we want to buy your line. Can you get online? I had other maternity stores wanting to carry my line.
Wow.
My line ended up being sold. I had wholesale reps calling me. So I had a showroom in Chicago, Dallas, and LA carrying my maternity line. So I had others. So here I am. I'm this young mother. No, I know. Let me throw in. I had also divorced my husband. Okay.
Oh, jeez. Add another thing to the mix.
Husband. I am a single mother trying to raise a 3-year-old little boy. I'm on my own. I got the hottest maternity line. I'm also now operating a retail store, and I'm also still designing clothes, trying to get all that made. I got pulled in so many directions, and success came very quickly. And I don't think I was ready for it. Now, I tell the story that I closed it in 2007
Mm-hmm.
2006 or 7, I'm not really for sure.
Yeah.
Because, the industry got flooded, and it did. It really did. But if I now that I can reflect back, in hindsight, it's 2020, I closed that store because I wasn't prepared for that level of success. And I know that will sound crazy to people, but I think I think success can also scare you.
For sure.
And I think that you have to be mentally prepared for that level of success. And if you don't feel like you deserve it, I think psychologically you will self-sabotage yourself.
Yeah.
I did that.
Wow.
And I'm old enough and wise enough to admit that, because I want people to learn from me, and I'm willing to tell that, to be this honest about my successes as well as my failures.
That's good. Not a lot of people are. See, that's the problem is, I think, with entrepreneurs and in that whole life, people don't talk enough about the failures. It's always about the success. The failures need to be talked about too, because then you're creating this false narrative that there's no failure in entrepreneurship, and it needs to be talked about more, I think.
Oh, I absolutely agree. And I also think that most people fail their way to success. I have a saying that I go, people say, well, everybody nowadays wants a shortcut. We live in instant gratification.
Yeah.
How many likes and stuff you can get. And
that's the way society's become, is instant. Exactly. We want everything right now.
Exactly. But guess what? When you really want to be a success, the shortcut to success is failure.
Yeah.
You will need to fail, because it builds grit, it builds character, and it teaches you what not to do. So the next time you get this level of success, now if it happens to me again, I will say, you focus on one thing, you do one thing really well. Don't try to be everything to everybody. And that's what happened. I had everybody wanting a piece of me that I was trying to give everything to everybody, and I couldn't.
Well, you're only one person. You can only give so much.
Exactly. So yeah, but circling back to failure, yes, I'm a huge believer in that you have to be honest about failing.
Yeah.
Because young kids, especially, they don't see the failure. All they see is Beyonce on stage with 155 million people following her.
That's right.
But if you go back and see her story, she lost. What was that TV show? I forget. One of those song competition shows.
Oh, back in the day. American Idol, or one of those
equivalent of that back
then.
Yeah, exactly. So
yeah, people don't see the hard work that goes into. I mean, look at you, your story is pretty incredible. You go from sketching outfits on a piece of paper in your kitchen to suddenly explosive success with a store. And like we said, with the actors and the musicians, if you're not ready for it, it's not good. You're not going to be able to handle and deal with the success. So
no, not at all. As Oprah says, God bless the child who goes to Hollywood and do not know who they are.
Yeah. There you go.
Right there. This will stay with you.
Yes, for sure.
Know thyself, because everybody else will try to make you be who they want you to be.
Yeah.
You got to be who you are. So
that's right. You got to stay true to yourself, for sure. So after you closed the doors of Hollywood Mama, you then launched Ms. Heel, a high heel store dedicated to the lovers of high heels, a boutique style store. Where did the idea for that come from?
So I closed the store, and I ended up moving out of Hollywood, Florida. I ended up moving to Georgia, and I kind of flailed for about 3 years, took some time off. And in 2010, I turned 40. And so I ended up celebrating my 40th birthday in New York City.
Okay.
Believe it or not, 40 friends.
Wow.
And 40
awesome.
Girlfriends. And we had an amazing time in New York City celebrating my birthday. And we were about to go out shopping on one of the days while we were up there. And I was like, where are my shoes? Where are my shoes? So most of my girlfriends had on flats or sneakers, but I found I had this 4-inch wedge. And someone said, Miss Hill, literally one of my girlfriends said, oh, okay, Miss Hill, because Hill is my last name.
Yeah.
ILL.
Yeah.
And she said, okay, Miss Hill, you're really going to wear heels? And just like that, Brad, I had that light bulb moment, and it gave me goosebumps. And I was like, oh, oh my God, I saw my name being spelled Heel. And I was like, oh, I'm going to do a shoe store. I'm going to call it Miss
Wow.
Hill. I'm going to sell nothing but heels. I know. I'm that person. I'm that girl who just literally, I am such a firm believer that when inspiration and you follow your gut, you're going to have plenty of time to doubt yourself, but always focus on that one feeling where it's almost like God comes and like talks to you, or if you believe in God or the spirits or whatever you want to call it, they hit you with that inspiration. What happens is that most people talk themselves out of that feeling.
Yeah.
But I go with that feeling.
I love it. Determination and drive.
That determination and drive. And I kid you not, I left that amazing 40th birthday in New York City, came back when I got back, and I bought, I was on pins and needles, sorry. When you go to the website, people like GoDaddy or whatever, and you're trying to buy the domain. And I was like, oh my God, please let Miss Hill be available. And of course it was. And I started, and I launched it. It was very, very small. It was, and when I look back now, the website that I had was extremely antiquated and not good at all compared to So I launched in 2010. In 2016, I opened up a retail boutique, an actual shoe store.
Wow.
I built that store from the ground up, literally went, and it was dirt on the ground. The guy was like, so this would be your space. And he had it like taped off, and I'm literally standing on the dirt. I built that store from the ground up. I put my heart and soul into that store, and it was absolutely gorgeous. And yes, I will brag on myself.
Sure, why not?
I tell people you have to give yourself your own kudos, because
that's right.
A lot of people won't do it for you.
Yep.
I opened up in August of 2016, Brad, and in September, I had a leasing agent scout who worked for a major mall here in Georgia. She came into my store and she was like, oh my God, this store needs to be in the mall. Do you want to be in the mall? And I'm like, I've only been in this location a month. I put blood, sweat, and tears and X amount of dollars in
with
here.
My hands.
Yes. Well, I hired people, but
yes, but the inside of it, you did it.
Exactly. And she was like, oh my God, this is stunning. You have to be in the mall. And I was like, lady, you're crazy. I've only been open for a month, but the location wasn't the best, and so by time Christmas rolled around, I was hurting. And I've been in retail business long enough to know that, again, location.
Yeah.
And one of my employees went to the mall in some boots we were actually selling. And when she came back from the mall, she came in and she was like, oh my God, Miss Hill, you'll never believe this. I was in the mall and everybody was asking me where I got my shoes from. And she was like, I think we're going to get a lot of people coming to the store. And as she was talking, Brad, again, that inspiration.
Yeah.
I kind of like faded out, and I was just looking at her, and when she finished, I was like, we're going to be in the mall. And she was like, what? I was like, I, meaning all of you girls, we are going to be in the mall. I promise you. Look at me. And like, everybody, I've kind of told some of my other stories before, so they're like, are you kidding? And I go, I'm telling you, I feel it. I absolutely, absolutely feel it. And I vacillated for a really long time because I'm like, I had just put, full disclosure, about $100,000 into the store.
Wow.
And I'm like, what am I going to do? Walk away from something? And oh God, so even though I'm telling you the short, version, I literally lost a lot of sleep over, do I walk away from money that I have put into the store for an opportunity to be in the mall? And again, I felt like the sign was, yes, it was a go. I felt it. Sometimes things don't make sense. You got to go with your heart.
That's right.
What do you feel? What does your heart say? And I felt it. And that was around late November, December.
Yeah.
And in February of 2017, 6 months later, after I had built the store from the ground up, $100,000, I left that space and invested more money. Now I took over the Izod store space, crazy, in a mall here in Georgia. Yeah.
Holy.
Yeah.
Now, were you designing the shoes as well?
No, when I moved to the mall, and 6 months later, when I left the store that I had, built out, we moved to the mall in February of 2017. Business for the first 3 or 4 months was amazing. probably clocking in, $40,000-$50,000 a month.
Wow.
But rent was $10,000 a month. And there's payroll and there's everything else that goes along with that. Business was amazing. And then it went straight to nowhere.
HE double hockey sticks.
Yes, it did. It did. It did. And we ended up having to cut back and, salaries and the whole nine. And I had to, again, learning from mistakes. And a shoe came, one of the shoe companies that I was buying from, came out with a shoe. And I looked at it and I was like, this shoe could be better. And they were like, what do you mean? And I was like, it should be this, it should be that, And so they were like, well, do you want to design your own line? And I'm like, do you do that? And they're like, yeah, we do that. We have a manufacturer, so we can create your own line for you. And I was like, what? Of course.
Wow.
Brad. So one of my employees who actually works on the magazine with me now, the shoes came in, she modeled it. We did a quick little video in the store and it took off. It was one of those viral videos that probably now has clocked about 7 million views.
Wow.
It took off. I literally garnered most of the people who follow me now on Instagram. I probably got those people in a week time. Because everyone started following me. Everybody wanted our shoes. To show you how popular it was, we were taking pre-orders. I took in probably about $30,000 in pre-orders on that boot. That boot wasn't even in yet. But people, it was so different. It was a stocking boot, and it had crystal stones all over it.
Yeah.
The thigh high. It's called Showgirl. People can Google it. It took off. It literally, our phones and emails and pre-orders was blowing up like crazy. And then, but it's like it just became this cacophony of bullshit that happened at the mall and. So a year later, literally a mere year later, I closed.
Wow.
Closed the mall. Yep. Closed the store mall and ended up just being online, taking operations, back to the basement in my house. Yeah. And so we ended up getting the shoes in. The shoes came in. I was like, okay, I'll just be a shoe designer. But one, as we said, well, as I said, one mall door closed, a shoebox open.
I love it.
And ended up having major production problems with the production facility in China.
Okay.
And word of caution to anyone who is working or getting something made in China and you're not Amazon or whatever, they all speak English when they're wanting your money.
Yeah, nobody of course they do.
English when shit hits the fan. Okay.
Yeah.
Nobody could understand me anymore.
Yeah.
So, a lot of those shoes came in, and half of my inventory was wrong.
Man.
The sizing was wrong. So, and literally I'm running out of money. I had literally gone through, a lot of money in a short period in 2 years time. So I ended up having, I got my Showgirl boot out. I did get all those pre-orders, all that. I got them out and I just decided, okay, you right now can't afford to, continue manufacturing shoes. And I honestly I did not want to be flying back and forth to China. I'm not a big fan of really long flights.
Yeah.
So I was like, no, not going to do it. So to make a long story short, I pinned a blog in 2018, 2019 about my failures.
Yeah.
On my journey. And it's like, and at this point, Brad, now I am, 48, 49 years old. And I'm like, oh my God, what am I going to do with myself when I grow up?
Yeah. Yeah.
And so I wrote a blog about, my failures. And, I remember telling my sister, I know I'm always telling somebody what I'm going to do, right?
When that idea comes. Yeah.
When that idea comes. And I was like, you know what? I should start a magazine. She, Debbie Downer, was like, oh, no, it's too expensive. It's this, it's that. She talked me out of it. First time in my life, someone talked me out of something that I said I was going to do. So I put the idea on hold. I didn't really think about it. And then a pandemic happens. All fun and games until there's a pandemic.
Yeah.
So, again, like I said, story people won't tell you about. I didn't know what I wanted to do with myself. I found myself I had turned 50. I just turned 50 in January.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm working as a substitute teacher.
Yeah.
So I'm a teacher as well as I am working for one of the local sports teams.
Okay.
Managing luxury box suites,
Yeah.
and working 2 jobs, and pandemic hits, which now has me in my house 24/7 looking at myself like, girl, you got to get your life together. And I decided I was looking at all my old Miss Hill things, and I stumbled across Old Hollywood Mama.
Yeah.
And I said to myself, you threw away a good business. And when I say threw away, I mean you walked away. And I give the example of you were on a flight, you hit a little bit of turbulence, and you jumped your ass off the plane.
Yeah. Yeah.
You didn't make it through the turbulent times. And so I looked at Miss Hill and I was like, you still have 10,000 people following you on Instagram, and you don't have anything for sale. So they bought into you for a reason.
That's right.
So I was like, well, I don't have that. I'm not willing to invest that much money anymore of going full-fledged and open up a big online shoe store anymore right now. And the idea for the magazine hit me. Inspiration hit me again. And
as it does, tends to do with you.
Yeah, exactly. And I bet on me some Velicia. I'm going to talk about myself in third person. I'm going to be a little Donald Trump here right now. That's come up in my interview, by the way. Scratch that part. No, just joking. Yeah, I took a bet on me again, and I dived into it. And
wow.
So we are, Miss Hill Magazine, we are working now on our 3rd issue.
Amazing. Congratulations on the new venture. That's incredible.
Thank you.
So you run the magazine. Do you oversee the entire project for each issue, or what are your duties with the magazine right now as it's fairly new?
What are my duties on the magazine? Well, I am janitor. I run and get coffee. I take out the trash. I work in the mailroom.
I love it.
I literally do everything.
Jill of all trades.
Yes, thank you. Every issue that you see, I did the layout. I did all the graphics. I have a team of people who write for me. If you flip through the issues, which you can find on misshill.com.
Yeah.
I am the editor-in-chief. I edit every piece. I spell check everything. I do the layout. I approve every photo. It's all me. The people that work for me, they do their part. They email me. Thank God for email. And,
no kidding.
Messaging and cell phone. And we literally work. Everyone is remote. I have about 6 people on my team.
Okay.
And we all work remotely. One of our people on my team is actually in Canada with you.
Oh, really?
Tara.
Wow. Oh, yes. Okay.
Yeah. And so the power of email and the internet has literally saved me. And, and now there's a platform that we use called Issue. If anyone else wants to, create a magazine, it looks easy, but when I tell you it's a lot of 4 a.m. mornings,
yeah.
It is literally working around the clock to get an issue out. It looks, people go, oh my God, you did this. It looks easy, or hell, maybe it doesn't look easy, because it's not easy. It is dedication. And it is literally, as a guy wrote in the book, From the War of Art, put your ass where your heart wants to be. So I put myself in this seat and get in front of this computer, and literally, Brad, this is how I have managed to keep my sanity and get through social distancing and being in this house, by diving headfirst into this project. So to answer your question, I am everything. I am every woman.
There we go. Well, it sounds like you dive headfirst into everything you do. You put your all, and you become everything that needs to be done. So that's your determination and drive. That's part of your DNA. It's who you are.
Yeah, it is. And I believe in you have to be dedicated.
Yeah.
I think most people, we can, again, I don't know if it's the instant gratification. We don't want to go through, we want the clean house, but we don't want to clean it.
That's right. That's right.
You know,
that's a good analogy.
Yes. And so in order to get a magazine out, it's about dedication. And for me, I make a promise to myself. And if I don't keep the promise to myself, how can I expect other people to keep their word to me when I'm not even keeping the promise to myself, you know?
Yeah.
And so it's about dedication and setting a goal and going, boom, done it. That is the best feeling in the world when I can look up and go, boom, June issue is done. And I don't even really get a chance to enjoy it because I have probably another 25 days to get July's issue out. You know, so I take about a day off from when each issue is done, and then I go, okay, gotta go.
Right back at it.
Yeah, exactly.
So, what is it that excites you about being an entrepreneur? You're a serial entrepreneur. That's what you do. So, what is it that excites you about being an entrepreneur?
Creating something from nothing.
I love it.
That gives my boy. That's exciting.
Yeah, and seeing it come to fruition.
Exactly.
What do you wish you had known when you first started out as an entrepreneur that you know now?
That failure is a feature and not a bug.
That's an interesting way of looking at it. I've never heard that before. I like it.
Oh, good. See?
If you could go back, would you change anything about how you did things?
You know, I thought about this question, and I would probably say the only thing that I would change would definitely be with Hollywood Mama. If I have any regrets in my life, I regret that I walked away from such a successful venture and did not try to make it work in some shape, form, or fashion. I literally just shut down the internet, shut down the site, turned off the phone lines, just lights out. It's like someone came and pulled the cord out of the wall and it was done. That is my only regret because that was right when the internet was taking off, and I would probably be so wealthy right now if I had just been that pioneer and had gone online. That's my only regret I would ever say in business, because I don't regret mostly anything because you learn.
But it was all part of your journey. That's how things were meant to go, right?
Exactly. Yeah.
What do you think your unique skill set or superpower is that's helped you become successful at what you do?
You know, I would probably definitely say my creativity, but beyond that, in a more on an esoteric level, I would probably say my intuition. As you can see, that has kind of been the theme kind of woven throughout all the stories that I have.
Absolutely.
If I have a superpower, and to break it down even more, I have a gift of what they call clairaudient. Everyone, your audience can Google it. I'm what they call clairaudient. And by being clairaudient means that I hear, instead of being clairvoyant, you see things. I'm clairaudient where I hear things, which I heard that the name of your store is going to be Hollywood Mama. You know, I hear it. Now, my clairvoyant is there too, you know, where I can see it sometimes, but the clairaudient thing is very strong. I definitely think that is my superpower. I hear voices or feelings.
Not in a creepy kind of way.
Not in a creepy kind of way, no, right? But it has been situations where I have, you know, been told things and it has never failed me. It has always been 100% correct. Now, if we could give me some lotto numbers.
Yeah, no kidding. You'd be laughing all the way to the bank.
Yeah, exactly.
So to date, what would you say is your biggest high or your greatest win?
My son, Scott.
Your son? Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. I was never one of those people who had to be a mother. Yeah. But to raise a human being and to hear people say he's such an amazing kid, that's a good feeling to have
for sure.
Amazing to have, you know, put another amazing human out into the world. Especially the world we're in now. I would say that.
Okay. What sound or noise do you love?
The violin.
The violin. Okay.
I love the sound of a violin. You ever listen to strings and music?
Yeah.
I love it.
Okay. What would you say is one of your favorite words?
Maybe it's a combination of,
Okay.
Go for it.
Go for it. Okay. I like that.
Maybe say it as a run-on sentence.
Yeah, there we go. Go for it. Just don't use that in your magazine. No run-on sentences in your magazine.
Exactly.
Who are the 3 people that have been most influential in your life, would you say?
Definitely my son, for teaching me about giving of yourself and an unconditional love. I would probably also say, okay, we're all adults here.
Yeah.
I had an amazing lover who taught me everything that has made me the woman I am today.
Mm-hmm.
And you ever meet? Well, you're married, so obviously you have met someone. But I'm divorced, and I had there's no other way to describe it. I'm like Carrie Bradshaw. I have a lover. I have an amazing man. We've had such an amazing connection.
Okay.
That's all I'm gonna say about that. Okay. I would say him, and when I tell you about those voices, there is a voice that I feel like that it feels like someone, maybe it's a guardian angel.
Yeah.
So I can't tell you who it actually is, but I feel like they have always been with me.
Okay. How would you describe yourself in one word?
Strong.
Strong. Okay. What would your perfect day be like?
So, I used to live in France, and so I have a name of, I want to have a log cabin somewhere in beautiful mountains. I want to build a big log cabin somewhere. I already have a name. I won't share it with you, but it's in French. And you Canadians speak French, so if I say it in French, someone will understand it.
Yes.
And I have always imagined building a big log cabin with amazing views and windows everywhere, and just filling it up with bedrooms where couples can come, and my families can come with their boyfriends, their husbands, their kids, and there's a kids wing, and we all are just there doing Christmas time, and we celebrate Christmas there, and we bring in New Year's together. I'm going to have that one day, and I
sure you will. If you've heard it or seen it, then you will.
Exactly. And I can just imagine all of us being there and eating, and the sound of kids and laughter and music and just that cacophony sound of family and love. That
sounds amazing.
Yeah.
What's one thing people would never know about you just by looking at you?
I love soft rock.
That's your guilty pleasure, is it?
Fashionable black woman, and everyone always thinks I'm from New York City, and I'm not. I am born and raised in Oklahoma City, and I am a soft rock lover of music.
Okay. That's your guilty pleasure.
That's right. Yeah, exactly.
If you had 24 hours left on Earth, what would you do?
I would throw a dance party.
All right. That's interesting.
We would dance to all different genres.
Soft rock.
Soft rock, disco, hip hop, all of it.
Run the gamut. Yeah.
Run the gamut. And it would just be a dance party.
All right. That's interesting. What's the first thing you notice about a person?
Being that I'm very, very intuitive, and I'm probably an empath, and I've just never labeled myself there. I'm sorry, self as that. I feel people.
Okay.
I feel people. You know what? Going back to superpower, I can look at a photo and tell you what you are feeling or thinking. I can feel it. Really? Mm-hmm.
Interesting. Okay.
Yeah.
What makes you feel inspired or like your best self?
When I complete something that I said I wanted to do, and I did it.
And you've done that quite a few times, so
that's a hell of a feeling. Yes.
Yeah. How do you define success? What does that word mean to you?
Success for me is when I hit my own personal goals. Don't get me wrong. I have an ego just like everyone else.
Yeah.
And of course
Yeah.
I want to be recognized in the industry, and I want 100,000 likes on, or I
Yeah.
want 100,000 followers. But to be honest with you, a personal success, setting a goal, working my ass off to do it. And I can look myself in the mirror and be like, you did that. That to
Yeah.
me is success. When I can prove to myself that I did something, no matter what anyone else says or anyone else thinks, when I hit my own personal best.
I love it. What does the word empowerment mean to you?
When you can empower others.
I love it.
For me, I consider myself a head cheerleader.
Okay.
I get so much gratification from surprising people.
Yeah.
And I love to, I do this thing about being on elevators. I live in a high rise. I love to get on the elevator and speak, because most people don't speak when they get on elevator.
Yeah, that's right. They put their heads down.
They put their head down, but they act like they're on the phone.
Yeah, yeah.
And I'll be like, oh my God, I love your shoes. I think it is imperative that we just give a little bit more kudos and make people feel good about themselves. So, and I always tell my girlfriends, you want to get a man, compliment a man. Most men don't get compliments. Say, oh my God, that's a beautiful tie. And my girlfriends call me all the time. They're like, oh my God, it worked. Empower others.
Yeah.
When you empower others, you in turn are empowering yourselves, because what you put out, I promise you, people, you will get back.
I love that. What would you say is one of your favorite quotes?
Okay, I have two. Can I say two?
Yeah, of course.
Because one is personal and one is in business. So my personal favorite quote is, the egg does not swim to the sperm. Ladies, it's a game changer. If you get that down, nature is telling us all we need to know. Lady Egg is sitting up there. May the best swimmer win. The egg does not swim to the sperm. So in other words, you do not chase a man. No, they need to come to us. Okay, Brad, sorry.
That's okay.
So let me get off on that tandem. That's my personal quote. Right. It's a game changer in your life when you live your life like that. And then in business, it's success always leaves clues.
Success always what?
Leaves clues.
Oh, that's interesting.
Yeah. Success leaves clues. Study the guy who owns Amazon. Study Oprah. She left clues. People leave clues. And when I say by clues, they show you what you need to do. In other words, you will probably fail. Follow their lead. Don't be afraid to take a chance on yourself. Success leaves clues. When I wanted to start this magazine, what did I do? I Googled magazines, high heel magazines, digital magazines. I found clues along the way. They left clues. And so I picked them up. That's what you do. If you're smart, you will pick up clues. Success always leaves clues.
I love it. That's a great quote.
Well, thank you.
If you could go back and give your younger self one piece of advice, what would that piece of advice be?
Oh my God, girl, relax. Slow down.
Mm-hmm.
Live in the moment. Oh my God, Brad, I can't tell you how much stuff I missed by not living in the moment. You know this yourself from having kids.
Yeah.
It's like you look up and you're like, you're what? You're going to college?
Yeah. Where did the years go?
Exactly. Yeah, that's what I would tell myself.
Slow down.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. And lastly, if you were to deliver your last 30-second speech to the world, what would that last 30 seconds sound like?
I thought about this.
Doesn't have to be exactly 30 seconds. But...
Yeah. No. But I think I worked on it, got it kind of down there. I would probably, if I could speak to other people before I left this earth, I would say, forget following your passion. And I know people tell you to follow your passion because passion is like fashion. It's malleable. It can change.
Right.
I would say more so to anybody, my parting words, follow your heart. Follow your heart in love, in life, in business. Follow your heart. Your heart always knows. And I promise you, even if you think you made a mistake or you fell in love with this guy and he broke your heart, I promise you, years later, you will go, it's what I needed.
Yeah.
Follow your heart.
I love it. Beautiful.
Thank you.
Well, thank you so much, Velicia, for being a guest here today and sharing your insights, and you've had one hell of a journey, that's for sure. So thank you very much for sharing your story and your journey and imparting your wisdom. It's been so amazing chatting with you and hearing about all your experiences. And I mean, I'm sure this isn't even the tip of the iceberg, but to give us that brief overview or bird's eye view of your career as an entrepreneur, a serial entrepreneur, and in the fashion world. And it's just been amazing chatting with you. You're an inspiration for sure. And I mean, just your determination and drive is so incredibly inspiring. So I thank you so much for being a guest here today and sharing your story.
So thank you. I was hoping that I didn't talk too much.
No. It was great. I loved your story and amazing.
Okay, well, thank you. I was like, all right, because Brad, if we keep going, we're gonna have to put on a pot of bourbon or something. But no, I mean, again, I have an ego. Who doesn't, love? We all love talking about ourselves.
Yeah.
I hope I imparted, some words of wisdom, and people can learn from me. And if the last thing I would just say is just don't be afraid.
Yeah.
Don't be afraid. Just suck everything out of life, because, on a side note, my ex-husband, who I referred to, he died last week.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. And
I'm so sorry.
Oh, no, he's an ex for a reason. But, but, death is a part of life. We all have a one-way ticket, and may he rest in peace. And that is my son's father, but I don't look at death as being a bad thing. And for me, it inspired me even more so to do everything that I want to do. I still have so much I want to do with my magazine. I have goals for it, all of that. And so his death just was a reminder to me to live so completely and fully.
Well, I'm sure you will accomplish everything you put your mind to, Velicia.
Well, thank you. Hope I can come back and
absolutely. I would love to have you back and tell us about your next journey, your next venture, all that stuff, how the magazine's doing. I would love to have you back if you would.
Okay. Well, thank you so much. I enjoyed it, Brad, and you're an amazing interviewer. I know you're going to be successful. You're so calming.
Thank you.
You put me at ease, and I appreciate it.
Well, thank you.
If I ever have gone to therapy, I would assume a therapist would be just like you. Got me to open up.
I love it. Once again, my name is Brad Welsh, host of your Empowerography podcast. Today, my guest has been Velicia Hill. She's a former runway model, shoe designer, and now Ms. Heel magazine publisher. Thank you again, Velicia, for sharing and being a guest on the show today. I hope you have a wonderful day.
You too. Thanks, Brad. Have a good one.
Thank you very much for listening to this podcast. If you haven't yet, please be sure to subscribe, rate, review, and share with all your friends. You can find me at visuphoria.ca and follow me on Instagram at Empowerography Podcast and on Facebook at Empowerography. Please join me next time for another inspirational story from yet another amazing woman.